Heidi Klum's career has been a study in reinvention. From her early days as a model rising swiftly to international fame, to her later roles as a television host, producer, and cultural icon, Klum has continually defied expectations about age, relevance, and influence in an industry often defined by youth. Recently, she took a bold step that captures this evolution powerfully. A joint magazine cover with her 20-year-old son Henry, a moment that speaks to changing norms in fashion, generational transition, and the complex interplay between legacy and innovation. The news of Klum and Henry's appearance together on the cover of a major fashion magazine resonated widely because it symbolizes more than a family milestone. It represents a shift in how fashion and media define visibility, representation, and generational relevance. Klum's presence on magazine covers is nothing new. Over her decades-long career, she has graced countless publications globally. Yet to share this space with her adult son, who is himself building a career in modeling, signifies a bridging of eras, the established star and the emerging face of a new generation. Page 6. Henry, at 20 years old, has already made significant strides in fashion. His runway debut at Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week, one of the industry's most prestigious stages, marked him as a talent to watch. Following that, a solo cover for another high-profile fashion publication solidified his status as a rising model, embraced by both industry insiders and audiences alike. Signing with a major management agency further signified that his trajectory is not incidental, but the result of intentional positioning, dedication, and growing recognition of his presence in fashion. Page 6. The ELLE cover featuring Klum and Henry captured this dynamic visually and thematically. Photographed by an acclaimed photographer, the duo's styling blended heritage fashion houses with contemporary pieces, Klum in elegant brands and Henry in tailored attire, signaling both respect for tradition and an embrace of modernity. What stands out most is how their presence together disrupts conventional narratives about aging in fashion. Historically, magazines have been criticized for sidelining women as they age, narrowing representation to a youthful ideal. Klum's continued visibility challenges that norm, asserting that influence, style, and relevance are not bound by age but by presence, confidence, and evolving identity. Page 6. In the accompanying interviews, Klum's reflections on the industry highlighted this shift. She noted that fashion has become more inclusive, acknowledging that women in their prime and individuals of diverse body types now have space to be center stage in media representations. This evolution is not incidental but the result of years of advocacy within the industry, as well as broader cultural conversations about diversity, representation, and dismantling outdated beauty standards. Her commentary situates her cover not as an exception, but as evidence of a broader movement toward inclusivity. Page 6. Klum's approach to motherhood and mentorship also informs this narrative. In public statements, she has spoken affectionately about her children, emphasizing qualities like intelligence, humor, kindness, and confidence, qualities she sees reflected in Henry's development as both a person and a professional. Moments like these underscore the intersection between personal pride and professional accomplishment, showing how familial support can coexist with industry ambition. Page 6. Henry's presence on the cover is particularly meaningful in the context of how modeling careers emerge today. Young models often face intense pressure to conform to rigid standards of beauty and persona. Henry's entry into modeling, supported by his mother's guidance yet distinct in his own identity, represents a new model for generational transition. One where legacy and individuality are not opposites, but complementary forces. His posture, styling, and confidence on the cover speak to an awareness of fashion's demands, yet also reflect his own interpretation of those expectations. The dual cover also invites reflection on how style and identity evolve over time. Klum's fashion choices on the shoot, pieces by heritage brands known for classic elegance, juxtaposed with Henry's sharp tailoring and accessories, suggest a conversation between past and present. It's a visual metaphor for how fashion itself is a dialogue between tradition and innovation, experience and experimentation, influence and reinterpretation. Beyond the visual and symbolic significance, the cover raises broader questions about how family legacies function in creative industries. In some cases, children of well-known figures enter their parents' fields under heavy scrutiny, facing assumptions that success is inherited rather than earned. Yet Henry's emerging career stands on its own accomplishments, from runway appearances to solo shoots, suggesting that while legacy may open doors, talent and work ethic define sustainability. The presence of both mother and son on the cover thus serves as a testament to how generational shifts in fashion can respect heritage while making space for individual growth. The industry's response to this cover has been overwhelmingly affirming. Many commentators celebrated the representation of maturity and youth together, noting that such portrayals broaden the cultural understanding of who fashion is for and what it can express. The cover generates not just aesthetic appreciation, but cultural dialogue, a sign that fashion remains deeply connected to broader social values. In shaping this narrative, Klum and Henry together showcased something beyond mere glamour. They presented a vision of fashion as expansive rather than exclusive, one that honors personal identity as much as artistic expression. In an industry where visuals carry immense cultural weight, their cover becomes a statement about belonging and evolution, that fashion is not confined to a single age, era, or aesthetic, but is enriched through continuity, diversity, and shared narrative. As Henry's modeling career continues to develop, and as Klum remains a defining figure in the fashion world, their partnership on this cover illustrates how influence flows across generations. It invites audiences to consider how personal relationships, particularly familial bonds, shape creative expression, challenge industry norms, and contribute to evolving definitions of style and cultural significance.